Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Do you see those two people there? That man just asked that lady to marry him. And she said yes, right in front of this Cinderella's castle here at the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. In Florida. Look at that. Cinderella's castle. Super huge. 2 and some odd times the size of Sleeping Beauty Castle in Anaheim, California, where I am from. This thing is massive. It is magical. It is mostly just massive. It's huge. And I am still not used to looking at it, even though I've been at Walt Disney World for 2 weeks. Isn't that crazy? They just got engaged right in front of that castle. And I'm standing here all alone. All the feels, but I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. Look at Walt Disney gazing out over Main Street, USA. His idea, but he never saw it completed. Walt Disney having passed away in 1966, Magic Kingdom opening in 1971. So this isn't the original Disney theme park. It's not the original Magic Kingdom. That would be Disneyland in California. But this is the Sometimes Vlog. It's a vlog that happens sometimes. My singing is not so great, but my attitude is non-stop positive. Because I have the power of the Cobra and the quest for positivity. Look at this. They're gonna do a whole show and a whole thing over here at this castle. I actually didn't even mean to start the vlog at the castle. I just saw somebody proposing to another person, and the people are gonna get married, and it's all because of Disney World. Look at that. You got Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and all these people running out on the stage, but I don't have time for that. That's a whole show they do in front of the castle every single day. You can Google it, you can watch it on YouTube. What I do have time for is this. Adventureland at the Magic Kingdom. Well, see, now I'm walking away from Minnie and Donald and Goofy and Pluto and Mickey Mouse, and I feel weird doing it, but I have to. I don't have much time. This is my last day at Walt Disney World, and I am back on a plane today, this very same day, and on my way back to Anaheim because it's Tuesday, because it is Tiki Tuesday. Look at this. At the entrance to Adventureland at the Magic Kingdom is this whole, well, it's a smoking area, but inside the center of the smoking area are these tikis, wonderful tikis. Look at them. Different tikis, unusual tikis that we don't have at home in Anaheim. I want to touch it. Oh, I touched the tiki, and over here, look. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Adventureland. The entrance to Adventureland, it looks completely and totally and utterly different from the entrance to Adventureland in Anaheim, other than the fact that it's actually built on a bridge. The Anaheim Adventureland entrance is also technically a bridge, just nobody really notices the water running underneath. There's a whole creek running there, and it's a bridge, but look how different and crazy this looks. Let's go take a look. We've taken a look at night, but never during the day together have we just walked all the way through Adventureland. Unlike the Anaheim Adventureland, which is just one land of adventure, one crazy, seamless, little miniature, not the smallest, but almost the smallest land. Here, Adventureland at the Magic Kingdom is pretty big. So big, in fact, so much bigger, in fact, than Anaheim. But it's divided into 2 sections. There's an Arabian village, and there is a Caribbean plaza. Look at this. Entering into Adventureland, we pass the Sunshine Tree Terrace. This is where they serve. This is where this little orange serves that citrus swirl they have here. That orange citrus swirl. Exciting. Oh, see, they've got one. Exciting ice cream treat that I can't have because they keep telling me it's not gluten-free. That makes me kind of grumpy. Look at, there's Rafiki over there saying hello to people. And then behind Rafiki, well, there's Rafiki's behind. Just kidding. Over here, behind Rafiki is this. The Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. We used to have this in Anaheim. We no longer have it. What we have now is Tarzan's Treehouse, which is basically the same thing, but they added another stump and a whole different way of getting up and down. This is still based off the classic 1960s live-action Disney film Swiss Family Robinson, which of course is based off a book and is a classic. So if you haven't read it, look at Swiss Family Treehouse. And then Robinson. Why they have to put it in that order to confuse me and everyone else? I don't know. Look at this is the treetop home of Swiss Family Robinson. Wait time 0. Isn't that awesome? So coming in here, you see almost like tropical colonial architecture, and you're still not all the way into the first chunk of Adventureland. You've already passed Swiss Family Robinson's treehouse. Look at that. Going over the rope bridge over the creek there, and then up into the trees. Don't have time for that. Don't have time for that. Here's a really cool sunglass location in which I bought these Ray-Bans because my other Ray-Bans were falling apart. Look, more tikis. Here we go. This is like the little Arabian village section of Adventureland. I'm having trouble talking. I'm having a lot of trouble talking. 2 weeks of constant talking has really, really worn me down. Look at this. First things first, there's a giant camel up here who spits. I told he originally came from a parade and then they installed him here later. He spits, and behind him is this crazy attraction, the magic carpets of Aladdin. It's an Aladdin themed version of Dumbo, only instead of riding around in an elephant, you're riding around in a carpet. It'll get going in a second and we'll take a look. Look at this, the Zanzibar Trading Company. Fancy. I have looked over here in the Agrabah Bazaar where they do a Princess Jasmine and Aladdin meet and greet over here in this area, and sometimes Genie's there too taking pictures. I have looked and looked and looked for the power of the Cobra, but no such luck. No such luck. No Cobra bracelets here. They do have a lot of similar, what's it called? Things that they have in Anaheim for sale, merchandise, but no power of the Cobra. Alas, alas. Yes, look at this. So Aladdin comes out and meets and greets guests here. Over here, the bazaar. Over there, Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. I'm just waiting. I want to see these. Oh, there they go. The magic carpets are taking flight, and these camels around the outside are spitting water over their faces. And see, I feel like you never get away with that back at home because people will get grumpy. Don't get me wet. But here in Florida, you're already so hot, humid, sticky, and sweaty anyways that not even once that I've been splashed and wetted and wetified and dripped have I been grumpy about it. It's always like, oh, thank goodness the camel spit on me. Where else are you gonna say that in your life, huh? Oh, thank goodness the camel spit on me. I'm so happy. Anyway, there you go. Another difference, obviously, in Florida. You have to have all these sun-shady roofs, not just for the crazy rains they get here, which I think this was shut down in the rain. Boy, those carpets are squeaky. Somebody needs to WD-40 the carpet again. Look at that, isn't that fun? You need to have shade and fans. It's so hot. Over here, is Dole's Aloha Isle Refreshments. I'm told this actually used to be the Sunshine Tree Terrace where they had the citrus swirl, and that used to be where they had the Doles, but they switched them because this is more popular, and Dole sponsors the Tiki Room. I don't know if any of that's true. That's just what I was told. Is that true? I'm not sure. I have to do more research. I didn't get to spend a lot of time in Adventureland this trip. But anyway, this is where you can get the famous Dole Whip, which is gluten-free, and which I have enjoyed at Walt Disney World. I've had a Dole Whip here and a Dole Whip in Anaheim. As far as I can tell, they taste exactly the same. But if Dole Whips are here, that means, for a certainty, there must be a Tiki Room nearby. Look at it. Look at the size of that Tiki Room. Look at the size of that Tiki Room. It's massive. It's huge. It's really, really different looking. Yes, it has the peaked Polynesian style roofs, but then it's got these bulls up here and these stone gods protecting the four corners of the Tiki Room. And then it's got these carved stone elements, and it's got a lot more Micronesian theming to it than the Polynesian and Melanesian Tiki Room in Anaheim. Look, there's another element of the Tiki Room over here, hiding in the bushes. The Tiki Room here is actually super cool. One cool thing about Florida, look, these are all parts of these pirate games and crazy games they have here. But one cool thing about Florida is because it is so much more tropical weather-wise, there's a lot of different tropical foliage that will grow here. And so anytime you're anywhere near anything tiki-ish or jungle-ish, it's really easy to sell the illusion of being in a jungle. Look at that, Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. And above it, speaking of Southeast Asian influences on the Tiki Room here, look at that. A giant mighty pagoda covering the tiki room. So someday I hope to come back and do a whole randomly just about tiki versus tiki and the influences and the design influences and the difference, because it's actually super, super fascinating. And by the way, it is Tiki Freaking Tuesday, which is why we have to walk through Adventureland together and why I have to show you this across from the tiki room, the walkway. Remember what I was saying about getting wet and how nobody minds? Are these giant tikis.
Or something.
They make this whole crazy drum sound thing, and then they spit on you. Each one of them has little water nozzles in their mouth, so they look like Fijian drums, actually. In Polynesia, they would make drums out of these log-like shapes, and there'd be seams and splits down the middle, and then you tap it with a wooden stick. You see what I'm saying? Oh. So sometimes they go crazy spitting, sometimes not as crazy. Everyone here is standing here thinking, I really hope I get spit on by a tiki today, which is an unusual... Again, when are you going to say that in your day-to-day life? I really hope a tiki spits on me. Look at this guy. His spit comes out of his nostrils. Wait, that means it's not spit. Oh God, what is that? Oh Lord, what's gonna come out of his nose onto me? I don't want it to come out of his nose. I wanted spit. Spit was okay. Nose stuff is weird, but look at those tikis. Aren't they fantastic? Aren't they fan-tiki-tastic? Over here, more elements. They have all these interactive games here. I need to mention this because a lot of people go, did you know this? Yes, I did. They have Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. And then they have, I can't remember what it's called, but they have a whole series of interactive games where you take these wands and different things and you walk around the park and point them at things and then things will happen and you go do all these scavenger hunts and crazy things. It's so, there's so many of them, there's different ones and different maps and different routines that I can't keep them all straight yet. And so I'll have to break those down in a totally separate vlog, a totally separate video. I just haven't had a chance to be like, all right, I'm gonna focus on this and talk about this and explain this. It's a whole crazy thing here. So Walt Disney World not only has a ton of attractions and theming and gift shops and restaurants and hotels and things to do, but then if people do come here often enough, or they do feel like they've seen everything, they can spend seriously hours and hours and hours, an entire day, playing all these crazy interactive games where you come and you take these things and you point them at various spots like this, and then all kinds of different stuff will happen. So like in this one, a pirate comes out of the water here, like a dead pirate, and then Jack Sparrow talks to you about this treasure over here. And I've seen them all happen, but I haven't actually done the games yet. Anyway, down here behind the spitting tikis is, of course, the Jungle Cruise. Now the Jungle Cruise here is a little bit different. A little bit, say, unusual. It has some things that we don't have in our Jungle Cruise. There's this whole section, you know when we say the ancient Cambodian shrine built by the ancient Cambodian Shriners in Anaheim? Well, here they'll have a whole cave scene where there's monkeys in the cave and a tiger is peeking into the ruins of the temple in the cave. You're sort of under a temple cave thing, I don't know how to explain. And then you see a big ugly spider and there's a cobra in there, Power of the Cobra. And it's very cool, Jungle Cruise. So it's a lot longer than our Jungle Cruise. And like I was saying, ooh, you see that wind? The wind is changing here in Florida. It's soon gonna blow me away on my umbrella back to Anaheim. What was I gonna say? Oh, it's longer, and like I was saying about the tiki room, the foliage, the illusion of being in a jungle is sold pretty easily because it's so humid and hot here and there's bugs flying around. There's actual, unfamiliar to me at least, sounds of critters and creatures in the night that it really does feel like you're actually in a jungle. Like, I can't decide which Jungle Cruise I like better though, because Anaheim's is just, oh, so nostalgic. Even the smell of the Jungle Cruise is different. But the Jungle Cruise here is longer and very, very cool. No complaints about the Jungle Cruise. Believe me, I like riding the Jungle Cruise here so much. It's like a must-do thing. And then bam, Pirates of the Caribbean. So now we've come around the corner from the Arabian Village, from Adventureland and the jungle rivers of the world into Caribbean Plaza. Ooh. Did you see that? Was I going too fast? Okay. See, sometimes when you're holding the camera during these vlogs, it feels like things are taking forever. Every time I swallow between talking, it feels like it took 20 minutes and you guys had to sit there bored for 20 minutes while nothing was happening. And then I forget. Slow down. Let everybody take a look. Don't get excited, Justin. Don't get excited. Don't get excited. Just look at the facade of Pirates Pirates here is housed in the fictional Castillo de Moro, a giant Spanish castle and or fort, which the castle facade really starts behind this facade. So you enter this sort of beautiful Spanish themed building, Spanish colonial Caribbean themed building, and then you go back there and then it starts being this castle and this fort, and there's this really long queue line, and then pirates, which is a much shorter version of Pirates at Disneyland, because they originally weren't going to have a Pirates of the Caribbean here. They thought, oh, people in Florida and down here will be used to the Caribbean. They won't be interested in pirates. There were real pirates in Florida. Nobody's going to care. And then they opened the park, and the first year the park had no pirates, and people went, where's the pirates? Disneyland has pirates, and we're in Florida. And we really like pirates, and we want some pirates, and we like them, and they're really cheap. They're only $1 a year. So can we get some pirates, please? I really like to have pirates. I think I better ask it over with my father. And over here across the way is Tortuga Tavern. Really strange hours on this tower. It's a pirate-themed restaurant. Really cool dining area inside and theming. I've sat in here before, but only as overflow seating for a Frontierland restaurant on the other side. It has really weird hours that I don't understand. But look at this, the Tortuga Tavern Code of Conduct. Every man has equal title to fresh provisions, if'n he has the go. Ye fair ladies shall be treated in a favorable manner. Wenches be not fair ladies. Uh-oh. A witness shall be present for gaming at cards or dice. Short drop and sudden stops for cheating scallywags. That makes sense. Duels by cutlass and pistols shall be taken outside with witnesses. The witnesses must have one good eye. Can't have 2 eye patches. And damages unto an establishment shall be paid in gold, doubloons, or pieces of eight. Parrots be not legal tender. Ye be warned. And most importantly, wow! Most importantly, sorry, I almost dropped you there. No monkeys. No monkeys means no monkey business. So again, calm down, take a look at the beautiful theming, Caribbean Plaza. It's like a beautiful Spanish colonial plaza of the Caribbean, and back there's pirates, and it's really neat and cool. There's only 1 drop in there. It's very different, unusual. I'm gonna do a whole video about the differences in pirates. Don't worry. It's a freaking Pirates of the Caribbean. It's right there. Look at it. Wow, wow, wow. Look at this. There's a cannon over there. And there's a flag. And there's things. Wonderful things. So you know at Disneyland how there's the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, and little girls can go in and buy princess dresses and get their hair done and their makeup done. Here they have a version of that, but it's for boys. It's back here, and they can go in there and get their face painted like Jack Sparrow and get little pirate outfits going on. It's very, very cool. No filming allowed in there, I think, for obvious reasons. People don't want their kids that are getting their makeup done being filmed by weirdos with gangly arms. That totally makes sense to me. But it's really cool. It's right in there. So here's the passage to Frontierland, and that's the end of our walk through Adventureland. Now today is my last day. Let's walk into the mess. I'll just show you, for example, one example, Disney World versus Disneyland difference. Here's Pirates of the Caribbean here. There's an animatronic parrot in here, kind of like at the beginning of ours, where you go around that round circle in the front. Look at him. He doesn't talk. He doesn't say, pieces of 8, pieces of 8. He just sits there, looking. Oh, very interesting. But here you walk in, you load, and you immediately start in the haunted cave with the pirate that's stuck to the rock with the sword. But you exit. So the ride is shorter, but you exit through this massive gift shop. As you know, there's the Pieces of 8 gift shop in Anaheim. It's huge. But here, you're in like whole separate courtyards, and there is so much pirate merchandise. It blows my mind. You guys know I've done a ton of Sometimes vlogs in the Pieces of 8, looking at pirate merchandise and saying, what kind of pirate merchandise is best for the ladies? Here, I feel like you have a lot more options. Look at this. Lady pirate bandanas, lady pirate swords, lady princess glasses, which aren't really piratey themed, but they're here. Look at all these guns. Look at all these guns. I've never seen guns this realistic looking in Anaheim. I feel like in the South and the lower East Coast, guns are a little more acceptable than where we live. Look at this. Piratey hats. Oh, and then there's a few. See, here's the thing I was talking about. The little boys and kids can get their hair done and become pirates in there, which is very, very cool. I will get yelled at if we peep in there too much more. Inside of that room, there are all kinds of legendary rumored movie props from Pirates of the Caribbean. There's several in here, and there's some out here. Right up here on this vase, on this red vase, is supposedly the Aztec gold piece. You see it? You see it right there? Right there. Now, supposedly, that is the actual one that Elizabeth Swann wears in the first movie, right there. That's the rumor. That's what the cast members tell me. Now, cast members are not always right. Sometimes they get told that, and they get told that, and they get told that. It'd be pretty easy to take one of the souvenir ones, spray painted gold, and stick it way up there where nobody can touch it and make sure. But that's the rumor. That's the rumor. And up here, it's rumored that that is Captain Barbossa's pirate sword. So you can see right here is the exit from Pirates of the Caribbean. These people are exiting the attraction up a moving walkway ramp, just like the exit of our Haunted Mansion. They exit up a ramp here, and right at the exit is a sword up there. It is like a very fancy sword. It is like a hero sword. It's made of metal, and it's very ornate. And supposedly that is a screen-used movie prop, Barbossa sword, right here. Let's take a Barbossa look. We're supposed to be like closer. I failed. What do you think? Could the rumor be true? Captain Barbossa's sword? Look at this little guy. Look at this little funky guy. Oh, I'm right in their picture. I'm right in that picture. Look at this kid. Look at this pirate kid. Look at that. Look at this. He's so weird looking. Anyway, could it be true? Could it be true? Here's another thing I really like about Disney World in general. Look at this. Look at all these books. On exiting many of the attractions here, especially at Epcot, but also in the Magic Kingdom. Hold on, I'm spilling things. But also here at the Magic Kingdom, you will see books in all the gift shops. So there's like I Wonder books and a book of pirate games and crafts and one of those DK Eyewitness books, and then actual books written by people in the time of pirates, which are sort of rebound and recovered. Those are actually in the public domain. You can get them on Kindle for free. Shh, don't tell anyone, it's a secret. And all kinds of actual, I don't know, educational stuff. So if your kid is all stoked, yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, that was so cool, you can actually buy them like an eyewitness books, pirate books right here at the resort. So when you go back to your room at night, you can give your kid the book and they can actually read about real pirates and learn something. That, I think, is really like one of the cool surprise win features here. Oh my gosh, people have so much fun here. It's so cool. One of the surprise win features for me for Walt Disney World. But it is also much more heavily themed to Pirates of the Caribbean, the movie. Not in that they've changed a lot of the scenes here. They changed about the same amount as they did in Anaheim. You know, they added Barbossa to the ship, and they added Johnny Depp in a few spots. By the way, look at this. Pirate restrooms. Caballeros. That means only Donald and, oh, never mind. They actually have a full series of restrooms here. And then an exit around the side. So there's all these little nooks and crannies here at Disney World, Magic Kingdom, that you don't have at Disneyland. There's a lot more places to sort of sit and rest and hide from everybody. Like you can just sit right here. Look at this. You can sit right here in this weird corner. The Disneyland Railroad will travel around behind you. Pirates is here, and you can just stay in this little nook. And nobody but that guy will find you. And maybe these people coming down this way, but we won't worry about them. They're cool. Anyway, here's one of those sections that's made for that interactive game. You point stuff at stuff, and look at this like crazy voodoo shop. They just have a lot more space here, a lot more room. And by the way, this is also supposed to be a screen-used movie prop. A key to the chest. Davy Jones' chest, what is that? The heart of the ocean, where his heart is in that chest. And that is supposed to be the key used in the movie. I don't know. But what I do know about this crazy voodoo room, which is, it does a whole thing for one of those games, but it also makes for a heck of a great photo op in here by yourself. I mean, look at this. Wow, look at this. I'm just, sorry, now I'm getting distracted by all these details. But one of the details I noticed in here that I like a lot is this. It's the Power of the Cobra Candle Edition. Light your way into a new lifestyle with the Power of the Cobra Candelabra. Wherever they found this, I want one. Wherever the heck they found that, I want one. Do you hear me? If you're ever in a vintage store, if you're ever around and you're in an antique store and you see a candle holder that's a Cobra, you let me know. Twitter, Justin Scar, let me know. Oh no, we've accidentally stepped out into Frontierland. Frontierland begins here and goes that way towards Splash Mountain and Big Thunder. We can't do it. We can't do it, guys. I'll have to come back I'll have to come back to Walt Disney World to film that. Yeah, so anyway, about me, I am off on a plane today back to Anaheim, California tonight. I don't know. My plane lands pretty late and Disneyland closes at 11. My plane lands at 9. So if everything goes right, maybe it's possible I could dip my toe at Disneyland and double Disney just a little bit. But it's very highly unlikely. I still will probably be able to ride Space Mountain and Haunted Mansion and Pirates and Pirates all within 24 hours of each other, but very highly doubtful I'll be able to do them on the same operating day. So I don't know that I'll be able to double Disney. I know that's the big question everyone's asking. You double Disney, bro? You going double Disney? This morning I rode Haunted Mansion and I rode Space Mountain about 5 times. And right now I'm about to go into the Tiki Room, and then I have to strut my stuff down Main Street, USA, off around the Seven Seas Lagoon in a monorail, back to my rental car, to the airport, and then fly home to sleep well. It's been a heck of a lot of fun out here, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to come back. I got a lot of footage, a lot of Random Land footage that all has to be sorted through now, and I need to take a vacation from my vacation and rent a log cabin in the forested desert of somewhere remote on an island with water and pirates and turtles, I don't know, and sort through all this crazy footage, and got to get all these videos sorted through and finished and completed. And then I'm gonna have to come back. I know I'm gonna have to come back, but there's a lot of stuff to film and do in Anaheim. There's a lot of stuff to film and do all over the place. Random Land is not limited to Disney things. It's not limited to theme parks, and neither is my life. That would be pretty one-dimensional, and I am just too excited about planet Earth to be stuck on only one thing for so long. But I know you guys really like it. I really like it. Disney World, I'm way more familiar with it now. I wouldn't say it's home. Magic Kingdom especially will never be home, but I'm a huge fan of Epcot, huge fan of Animal Kingdom now. I really like Walt Disney World in general. It's a really impressive, crazy thing. And I have to say the most impressive thing is that the cast members here are putting on such a massive, hold on, I'm looking for my sunglasses now, such an elaborate, crazy show that it's unbelievable. What you don't see here are all the cast members who have to come in at night and fix the spitting tikis, or fix the tiki birds, or paint the walls. I mean, one of these things here could scratch up that wall and leave a big ugly scratch, and then somebody has to come in at night and paint the ugly scratch, and somebody has to come in at night and make sure that the carpets work so that you only have to wait 15 minutes and you can take a magic carpet ride through this place, and somebody has to make sure the roof stays on, the plumbing works, and that you have cold soda. And there's all these cast members, I think, that we never even get to see, who are doing so much crazy good work just to make sure that all these people can make all kinds of crazy memories. Another thing I like about Disney, because a lot of people are getting crazy, like, how can you do so much Disney? How can you like theme parks so much? The other thing about Magic Kingdom, like even more so than Disneyland, on a way more epic scale, because Magic Kingdom really is the Disneyland for a larger chunk of the population, not just of the United States, but of the world, is I've seen a lot more special needs children here. I've seen a lot of Make-A-Wish kids here, like really with the Make-A-Wish shirts and the whole deal. And there have been seriously several moments, see, like right now, where I've gotten like really choked up because of how cool and excited these kids are. You'll see kids here with cancer, no hair, kids that are wheelchair bound, kids that are on crazy crutches and things, and people who are all kinds of people with all different abilities, different things coming here. And then not just them either, but just regular families. I'll see who's that pirate coming out of the water over there. Someone's doing that thing. And then Jack Sparrow talks to them and says, congratulations, you found the treasure, and you hunt down all this stuff. Anyway, just normal families coming here. I, for example, have gluten intolerance, right? Celiac, gluten intolerance, wheat allergy, however you understand it. I can't eat wheat. I get very, very sick if I eat wheat, and as a consequence, I can almost never eat out anywhere. I can almost never go out with friends and just eat the food that they're eating and just have a good time. And it really weirds people out. But at Walt Disney World, almost every single restaurant has an allergy menu. You go up and there's an allergy menu. It breaks it down by different, food allergies and what you can order and what you can't order. And here, I can go up to every counter, order food like a normal person. It takes a little bit longer because they prepare it all separately for you to make sure that you don't get sick. So I've been at the counter with other people that have celiac disease and gluten intolerance stuff because we have to wait a little longer for our food, so you end up waiting at the counter together. And watching some of these kids just be able to go up to the counters and order stuff like normal kids and normal stuff and get their food and be able to eat it with their family. Super crazy big deal. And I feel like a lot of people wouldn't understand unless they had that problem. It's the same thing with all that stuff about like wheelchairs. You know, people complain a lot. I've heard people complaining. While I was here, we were on the Seas of Nemo at Epcot, and there was a whole bunch of teenagers in front of me, and they were all getting angry. What's taking so long? Because the ride stopped and they couldn't load on. And behind them, I see this little girl in a wheelchair, and she was like kind of twisted up, and I don't know what was wrong with her, but there was something obviously that was not easy to live with. And she had this like kind of blank expression on her face, and they were loading her into like this special seashell thing. I'm giving you a look at while I tell you the story. Giving you one last look at Adventureland. Special seashell thing that the wheelchair can go up into, and when they turned it around and it finally was turned to face forward and the doors were closing and she realized she was getting on the ride, the look on her face. That's what makes places like this really special. So it's cool and it's full of details and full of history, and it's exciting and it's fun and it's funny, and there's lots of cool stuff to joke around about here, and it's super crazy. Like, gee, I wonder if this cannon is loaded. Is there any way to find out? This seems perfectly safe and logical to me. Right? But it's also a place where literally the tagline, Disneyland is the happiest place on earth. This is the most magical place on earth. Or they'll say Magic Kingdom, where or Walt Disney World's tagline is where dreams come true. And it really is actually true. There's a lot of people who come here and they stress out, I'm spending $10,000 on this vacation and no one's having any fun. That exists here too, big time, especially because it's so hot. People get cranky. There's no coffee line, so people get a little toasted, and then they have a grumpy day at the end of the time. So I've seen plenty of negative instances, but I don't worry about, oh, look at Rafiki over there looking cool. Happy Rafiki Tuesday. Doesn't really work. We'll workshop that. We'll work on that for later. So I've seen a lot of grumpy things, of course I have, but I've also seen some really amazing things that really punch me right in the feels. So Disney World is a super, super magical place. Yes, it gets really hot here in Florida and it's humid. And yes, it's a bigger place, so it feels less personal sometimes. It feels like you're sort of lost in the shuffle compared to Disneyland, because Disneyland's a more intimate, closer place. There are more eyes on you, so there are more cast members ready to leap to your assistance in any given situation. Where here it's bigger, it's louder, there's more people, they're from more urban, dense cities, so people can be a little pushy or a little rough. I'm talking about the guests. They are way more brutal on the cast members than the people are on the California cast members. I feel like the cast members here really do put up with a lot, and they put up with an astounding, massive number of people here. It's really impressive. From everybody from the managers all the way down to the people who have to scrape the gum off the walkway to Swiss Family Robinson's treehouse at nighttime. People that fix the animatronics, the people that have to drive trash around on golf carts or something. I don't know, who knows? All of those people do such a fantastic job keeping this place running. It's actually mind-bogglingly, astoundingly insane. So those are kind of my final Walt Disney World thoughts. I know it's running a little long, the vlog, and I'm getting a little windy now talking about it, but 4 theme parks, 2 water parks I haven't visited, all these resort hotels. I stayed at the Grand Floridian, which is crazy, stayed at Port Orleans, and a lot of you guys made this trip possible with Patreon and Spreadshirt, livefastdieport@spreadshirt.com, patreon.com/JustinScarred, and helping out and helping to contribute to the Sometimes vlogs. So hopefully it was worth it. I mostly focused on Random Land and not the vlogs. Next trip I will make sure to not do that. I really need to slow down the thing. I bit off more than I could chew. I went a little too crazy, got a little too ambitious, and it happens. It was a learning experience. It was definitely a learning experience. I really didn't know my limits. For example, when I came here, these shoes were brand new, and now I have worn the soles out of these shoes. Not completely, I mean, they're still good. I'll wear them for a while. But I mean, they were brand new, and there are holes in the heel of my shoes now. That is crazy, a crazy amount of walking, a crazy distance. So just distance and foot traffic alone. Oh, look at this handsome guy with a GoPro. Just distance and foot traffic alone really was just more than I was expecting it to be. You really beat a crazier, harder trail out here. So anyway, I know I was running a little long, but those are sort of my closing thoughts when it comes to Walt Disney World. Hope you enjoyed this little view of Adventureland. It's not really like systematic or complete, or, you know, I didn't show you every little detail or every little secret, but hey, it's a look. Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom's Adventureland. So you can't just say Disney World's Adventureland, even though that makes perfect sense because it's the only Adventureland in Disney World. You have to say the Magic Kingdom or the Florida people get grumpy. It's like if you say something from California Adventure is in Disneyland, like, oh, I love Soarin' at Disneyland, and you're like, what? Because that's not Disneyland, that's DCA, that's California Adventure. It's the same thing here at Walt Disney World. You can't say, oh, I love Tiki Room at Disney World. They're like, that would be a Tiki Room in the Magic Kingdom, sir. Even though it's actually called Magic Kingdom, not the Magic Kingdom, but still, people say the Magic Kingdom, and it is a magical kingdom, so why not? Adventureland, there you go. I'm short on fluids and long on overstimuli in my brain. I'm hot, tired, I do miss my family, and I miss my home. I cannot wait to go home and sleep well. Thank you everybody for coming along with me to Florida, whether it was on Instagram, Snapchat, both of those are Live Fast Die Poor, Twitter, Justin Scard, Periscope, Justin Scard. We did a lot of periscoping out here together. And of course, future Random Land things that we're gonna edit. And of course this, the most important of all, the Sometimes vlog. You guys are my favorite people, the vlog watchers, and I really appreciate every single one of you. Look at this right here in front of me is the Main Street Philharmonic Band. They've done their duty. They're going home to sleep well. And I, my friends, have done the same. I came, I went full Disney. I went full Disney. 2 weeks at Walt Disney World, non-stop doing stuff. Whoo! And there's a lot, and all I did really was uncover all this other stuff that there is left to do. So I guess we'll have to come back to Disney World eventually. First, home. Anaheim, home. Home. There's no place like it. At least no place I know. I love you all. Subscribe for some more crazy adventures from who knows where next. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.